Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another day of Facebook Live. I apologize today. We had some computer difficulties today, but once again, we have a great show in hand. Today, we're going to talk about the housing market. I'm going to give you an update about the housing market. A lot of people have came to me and asked me, Ceped, hey, what's going on with the housing market? Is it a good time to buy a home? Is there, what are we doing today to generate wealth? So today, it kind of was on my heart to kind of break it down and talk about what is going on in our economy, what is really going on in the housing market. Is inflation real? I'm going to answer all those questions for you tonight, okay? I'm going to talk about what's going on in our community so that we may be able to make educated decisions on what we can do to help out ourselves. So once again, I always start off the show with the cavalry is not coming, the creek has rose, the levee has given way. It's up to us to save us. So the first thing we're going to talk about tonight, I'm going to come up and share some light on some of the myths that's going on in our community. And I know some of these things might not be traditional things that you have heard in the past, but these are true facts that's going on in our community. The first thing that the myth that's going on in our community is that we've always been told that knowledge is power, okay? And for a long time, we believe that knowledge is power. But in all actuality, that's not a true statement. And I'm going to put out a PowerPoint presentation on my Facebook. You can go in and download it, and there's going to be a sum up of everything that I'm talking about tonight. But knowledge is not power. Once again, knowledge is not power. Knowledge with action is power. I'll say it again. Knowledge, just knowledge alone, is not power. You can know something, but if you don't act on it, then it has no value to you. Okay? So as interest rates and everything was at an all-time low, our community slept on that. So we had knowledge of the interest rates being at an all-time low, but we didn't have knowledge and power to act on it. So once again, knowledge without power is nothing. Okay? You got to have the ability to act on what you're doing. So what I've been told, like I said, we've been told over the years, knowledge is power. That's a correct statement. You got to have knowledge when you're making educated decisions, but you have to take actions once you have that knowledge. So tonight, I'm going to give you some knowledge about what we should do, the state of our community, what we should do in reference to generational wealth when it comes to home ownership. Why is it that they're saying that there's a shortage in homeowners and in homes when there's really not? Why is that the case? If there's really not a shortage in homes, why are they saying it? And why is this inflation thing? What is that dog whistle? What is that all about? So today I'm going to break it down for you. So the first thing we want to do is understand what knowledge is. Knowledge without power is nothing, right? So when you have this knowledge, you have to act on it. So when I'm having conversations with individuals, they're saying, hey, Ceped, it doesn't really matter if I'm renting or if I'm buying a home, I would rather rent. If you are renting a home and you're not trying to purchase a home, you're setting yourself up for failure. You're one step away from being somewhere where you really don't want to be, okay? Because that landlord or that apartment complex that you presently stay in, the first thing you got to understand that you're paying a higher interest rate than everybody else that owns their home. Second thing that you got to understand that landlord who you are renting from, they're in the business to make money, okay? And it's important that you understand that if he is paying an 8% interest, then guess what you're paying? You're paying at least 10 to 15 for the same house that you're staying in. So there's no way that the argument that you can say I'm better off renting. No, knowledge is power. And then you must act to get yourself in a position to where you have equity in whatever you're doing. Secondly, of all, when you're renting, it does not give you the ability to transfer your hard earned savings to the next generation. So, yes, it's important that, I've rented before. And I'm not speaking against renting. Somebody, you got to start somewhere. But what I'm saying is we have to get on the path to ownership. It doesn't matter if you're working for a job, if you're renting a home, or if you're selling tea or whatever. You should look at ways to become owner of whatever you're doing. You need to control your own destiny. When you're talking about home ownership, you're saying that, hey, not only am I making my payment, but I'm building equity for for my kids, for my community, for myself, for the next generation. When you're making payments on a home, if you're making payments for rent, you're making generational wealth for somebody else. So once again, the cavalry is not coming. The creek has rose and the levee is giving way. It's up to you to save you. Okay. Then another thing, when you never own your home, or if you're always renting, there's three things that you're never going to do. One, renters work for short-term satisfaction. It's everything is short term, 1 year contract, 1 year lease agreement. It's always short term. Second, you never establish wealth to transfer to the next generation. You never establish that relationship. Thirdly, pay a higher interest rate than your your landlord. Okay, let's talk about the benefits of home ownership. Okay, because we here at Mad Capital want to help 100 people get in a home starting this weekend, June the 4th at 9,000 Keystone and the Crossing. If you're trying to purchase a home, or if you're looking to get into home ownership, or if you're trying to understand your credit, you need to come here this weekend between 11 and 1. We're going to have all type of things that's going to be there to help you. We're going to have realtors there. We're going to have builders there. We're going to have bankers there. We're going to have everything there for you to get ahead. Well, when you become a homeowner, you're working for a long-term goal, okay? Long-term satisfaction. Well, the first thing it is, you're going to sign a 15 or a 30-year mortgage. That's long-term. There's not a short fix. They can't evict you immediately. It's over a period of time. Secondly, you're going to transfer that wealth every month that you make a payment. A portion of it is going to go towards your principal, and a portion of it is going to go towards your interest. Every month, you're going to pay something towards getting that generational wealth for you and your family. Okay. Thirdly, you're going to pay the lowest interest rate that your credit allows you to pay. You don't have to worry about somebody else selling your house and you don't know about it. You're not going to have to worry about somebody coming in and telling you what you cannot do and can do in your own place. You're going to have the ability to do the things that you desire to do for yourself. Okay. Fourth, you're going to control your own destiny. Okay. You're the one who's going to say, hey, I want to pay this off in 15 years because I don't want a mortgage payment. I want to enjoy my grandkids. I want to live my best life after I worked for 30 years. I want to enjoy the rest of my life. So you're going to be able to say, I don't want to have to worry about a mortgage payment or somebody coming and taking what I've worked for so long to have. For so long, I have family members that have never rented, that have never owned a home. And what has happened is they've spent 30 years of paying $1,000 a month for 30 years on a rent. So if you got to go and look at this, it's $1,000 a month, just rounding up to whole numbers, $1,000 a month. You multiply it by 12. So that's $12,000 a year, right? And if you multiply that by 30, you can go figure. That's a lot to pay on somebody else's investment. So why not bet on yourself? Why not invest into yourself? And why not do the things that you need to do to get yourself ahead? Okay. The fifth thing to do, the homeowners are investing and they're not spending. They are not, even though they're making $1,000 a month mortgage payment, okay, that is an investment into their future. They're not just giving the money away. They're not just giving it away. They are really investing into their future. I've I was talking to a group of people a couple of days ago, and they was talking about the state of where we're at right now in our community, why there's so much violence. Well, statistics show that people that are renters have normally a higher rate of crime in their community. Statistics show that. When you have a lot of renters, then the statistics show that there's a higher rate of crime in those communities. Why is that? Well, I'm going to read some statistics that I came up with. You're going to be able to view it on my Facebook page. It says the myths that we are in a housing shortage. Okay, one of the things that home ownership does is gives you a sense of pride. Your kids feel better about coming home to mom and dad, and this is our home. There's something about when you tell yourself that this is mine, you're taking care of it. So let's talk about some of the myths. You know, when people say that there's a shortage of homes and the interest rates are going up, and let's kind of talk about it. I've been doing mortgages for over 20-some years. Let me kind of explain to you what has happened in the mortgage industry. In 2005, a lot of things happened. The stock market crashed, right? We had a lot of things that happened. The mortgage industry took a tank. So a lot of the banks lost money, okay? So what they did is our government bailed out the banks. And what happened is a lot of those banks had properties. The companies that own those properties were government-backed securities, which was owned by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Those are government programs. And we call them FHA loans, okay, or first-time homeowners loans for your term. So what happened is the banks foreclosed on those properties because a lot of the people who were buying those properties were called investors. And they were truly not investors. Investors that traditionally were investing in the stock market and things of that nature. No, what they were they were buying properties, start fixing them up, and they started selling them. Well, a lot of people did not fix up the properties, and they got overinflated, and people made a whole lot of money doing that. People went to jail, but it was a small group that went to jail for the crimes that they were committing. Okay, it was a very, very small group. So what happened is, as the interest rate started to correct itself, the economy stabilized, the housing market came back, and we're living in a day and time where the interest rates went extremely low. So what happened is, in our communities, you have people who understood credit. This is where we begin in our community, this is where we begin to lose generational wealth. Okay. Now these houses in our community became boarded up. And so what we had is people out in California, people in major cities, that interest rates were low, and they went to their bank because their interest rates were extremely low. Okay. And so they came in and they was getting their money for like 4 and 5%. Okay. And what they did is they came in and started buying properties whole blocks at a time. The housing market is not wrong. It's just the interest rates were low. So when the interest rates were extremely low, these people, these individuals that had credit, once again, in our community, we don't understand credit. We have people that's still going around and saying credit is not a problem, and I want to pay for everything cash. That is causing us to have generational wealth shut down. We must understand that credit is a part of the new generational wealth, how you can create generational wealth for the next generation. You can no longer say everything that I want to pay is cash when you're competing with people that understand credit. You must understand credit as well as cash. Having credit is not bad. It's just bad what you do with it if you don't know how to manage it. So let's get back onto what is going on in our community. So they start sending out dog whistles. The interest rates are going up. Inflation is coming. The stock market is going to crash. All of these things is to get you scared to not invest and to bet on yourself. Let me tell you what's getting ready to happen before it happens. The interest rates are going to go up because the stock market has to correct itself. The interest rates have to correct itself. So we've been doing a period of time to where the interest rates have been at an all-time low. It has burned. Okay, so a lot of people that understood generational wealth and they didn't have the cash. So what they did is went to their local banks and created companies and set up hedge funds. And so what happened is you put your money as a consumer into the bank, and the bank lent that money that you gave them to these people who have good credit, and they lent you the money. They lent you the home. They gave you a home that you could have a roof over your head, and the banks didn't offer you a loan. So what these people did is they came and bought in blocks, and they called them investors, and they called them flippers, and they called them buying and selling properties. That's what we do here at Mac Capital Investment. I teach people on how to buy and sell properties and how to become homeowners and investors. So what happened is you have people in major cities like California, you have people out in New York that says, hey, I want to come in, and to buy a house out in California, you got to spend over $700,000 or $1 million, which 10% down on an investment property, you're looking at $100,000, right? Well, if you come and buy in the Midwest, guess what? You can have our own home here in the Midwest to where you can start generating income off of it. So what happened is these individuals, instead of taking their money and buying property out in California, they bought properties here in the Midwest or in smaller cities. And they bought them in blocks at a time. They didn't buy one or two. They came in and bought blocks, 5, 10, 15 houses. And they used their line of credit that you paid for to go to the bank. That's what they did. So now you have everybody in an uproar because they're saying that their housing market is a shortage of homes. No, that's not the case. The problem is that the interest rates were so low that it made sense for these individuals who traditionally invest into the stock market, which is kind of risky, which they would see a better opportunity to invest into homes. And then the risk was a lot less. They can get a greater return on their money. And they came up with different tax brackets, tax loopholes that would give them a tax break that they could not otherwise get. So let me tell you how it went. So they would come in, create a company, right? And you don't get taxed on you get taxed on your income. So what happened is these individuals came in, they bought the home, they bought a whole block, fixed it up, they got a line of credit to fix it up. Then guess what happens? They sold the property, right? Well, when they sold the property, they put it in the company's name. So their taxes is deferred. So, but you don't pay money on your loan. So if you get a loan, you don't pay taxes on it. So what a lot of them did, they just refinanced it, got the income, kept buying properties. So this is why credit is so important in you talking about generational wealth. This is what's going on in our community. So what has happened is now the interest rates are going up. And they're telling you, everybody is saying, well, the stock market is getting ready to crash. No, the stock market is not going to crash. It's just going to correct itself. The housing market is not going to crash. It's just going to correct itself. When the interest rates go up, people are going to stop stop investing so much into real estate, because these guys that have these lines of credit, it does not benefit them now to go in and get a loan from the bank and pay a higher interest rate for the money that they're going to get and then rent the house to you. They're not going to keep doing that. So as interest rates go up, there's going to be more houses on the market because builders are building. So let's talk about the inflation. So the inflation says, hey, listen, gas prices are going up and it's costing more for them to get wood to your particular site so that they can build a house. That is inflation. It's costing more to do business. Okay. So now as the gas prices goes up, it's going to cost more to buy wood. There's going to be a shortage of wood. They're going to tell you that, hey, the interest rates, they're going to tell you that we're headed toward inflation. So what should we do? Ladies and gentlemen, the cavalry is not coming. The creek is rose. The levee is giving way. I'm here to tell you, go out and purchase a home. Go out and become a homeowner. Start working on your credit so that you can take part in this generational wealth that we're talking about. If you do not have the credit, give us a call. We can help you get to where you need to be, to where you can create generational wealth for you and your family. This is still at an all-time low interest rates. They're still low. They're not at 14, 15, 16%. They're not even at 7.99. They are a little bit less. They're a lot less than that. They're not at 2.75 to what we used to get, but it's a lot better than what it was, okay, than what it was in the past. So now is the time. Don't let nobody tell you that your interest rates are too high and now is not the time to get in the market. No, now is the time for you to purchase your home, to set up generational wealth for you and your kids. Because there's one thing for sure. There's two things that's going to happen for sure. One, you're going to need food. Two, you're going to need shelter. So it doesn't matter if somebody else has got a mortgage or if you got a mortgage. If they got a mortgage, you're going to pay a higher interest rate for the same house that you're staying in. So make sure that you understand that when they start telling you that the interest rates are going higher and you're struggling with getting into home ownership. Okay, you have to understand that these are all dog whistles to get fear in you. The cavalry is not coming. The creek is rose. The levee is giving way. It's up to you to save you. So let's talk about some of the myths. Home ownership is on a decline after a few years, and this is from the Wall Street Journal. Home ownership is on a decline after a few years of modest gain. So they're saying that home ownership is on a decline. And interest rates have just started to creep up within the last couple weeks. 82.5 million or 65% of owner-occupied houses units are owner-occupied. So that means that people are getting these properties and they're setting. They're using it for tax purposes. The home ownership rate outside of the metropolitan statistical areas may be as high as 77%. So that means that people are buying houses outside of the metropolitan area. So that means that in the surrounding counties, people are buying properties. 7 out of every 10 properties people are buying. So why is it that we cannot find any houses in the inner city? Or are they boarded up homes in the inner city? I think not. People are buying them, fixing them up. You can see construction going on in your community. You can see people who you've never seen before, kids you don't know, in your community buying these properties and they're fixing them up. That only means that somebody understands credit and somebody understands the value of real estate. Okay, that's all it means. Okay, 63% of all homeowners have a mortgage. So when people say, well, I own my property free and clear, nope. 6 out of every 10 people have a mortgage. In other words, they're using their credit. Ladies and gentlemen, we must understand what credit is if we're going to be able to survive and thrive in this economy. Okay, I'm here to tell you that you must understand credit, and it's no longer acceptable for you to put your head in the sand and say, I'm just going to bless me, my four, and no more, and I got my own credit going on. No. You must understand that you must teach other people and you must become a homeowner yourself. Okay. Last piece, mortgage refinancing doubled to 2.4 trillion between 2019 and 2020. So what has happened? These individuals that understood credit, they got a little bit higher interest rate. They might have been paying 7.5 or 8% interest rate, APR. So what happened is when the interest rates declined, they declined with it. They said, hey, it's time for me to refinance my mortgage. Interest rates are at an all-time low. Let me refinance, pull my cash out, or just do a rate and term so I can pay this off early. And this is how they began to deal with their retirement. This is how they began to know, hey, this is what I'm going to do for my retirement. If you were 25 years old and you was able to get a mortgage, guess what happened? By the time you was 50, you owned your house free and clear. Most of the time, real estate goes up. It don't go down. So if you give your person, you give a house of $30,000, you put $20,000 in it, so you got $50,000 in the house. The average house, it doesn't matter what condition it's in, it's at least $100,000 now if it's livable, and so now you've doubled your money. So you have an option: either you can sell it or you can rent it out. But either way it goes, it's an asset to you. Okay. Banks operate off of liabilities. So when you give the bank your money, okay, so let's talk about the banks. When you give the bank your money, that's not an asset to them. They want to get rid of that money as quickly as they can because they make money off of the interest of it. Off of the interest, when you give your paycheck, they make money off of the interest. So what happens? You give your bank $1,000. They pay you 0.1, 0.5, somewhere around in there. They don't even give you a 1%, 2%. It's 0.0 something. And then they turn around and lend that money out to you or to somebody else. At credit cards, I've seen credit cards at 18%. I've seen mortgages at 4 or 5% now. I've seen individual lines of credit, 18%, 12%, 15%. So either way it go, you don't see 0.01. So they're making money off of what you're putting into that account. So bet on yourself, figure out how you can clean up your credit so that you can take part in what everybody else is doing. Okay. Another myth is about rental stats. Let me give you some stats about rental. Now, once again, this is going to be stuff that's going to be posted onto my website. So if you miss it, you can go back and watch the show, and I'm going to post it on our website, and you can kind of download it and read it. 40.7 million or 34.6% of occupied housing units are renter occupied. 34% are renter occupied. Okay, rental vacancy is 6.2. So that means that people are still renting. Okay, 17% of renters households were behind on their rental payments in 2021 first financial quarter. So not only are you renting at a higher interest rate, but you can't afford it. So what has happened is, because the interest rates are so high that these landlords are charging you such a high interest rate, you can't keep up. So what happens is you start to fall behind and you'll never become a homeowner. Okay, 10.5 million or 24% of renters pay more than 50% of their household income to rent their home. So if you make $1,200 a month rent, so if you make $24,000 a year, so that's $2,000 a month, right? So what happens if your rent is $1,200? Do you see how that math is not adding up? If you make $25,000 a year, you only bring home before taxes $1,000 to $2,000 a month. If your rent is $1,000 a month, then guess what? You got to live off $1,000. That's not including car payment. That's not including utilities. That's not including cell phone. That's not including water, gas. That's not including none of that. If you're going to struggle, I would rather struggle for something that I'm going to own, not something that I got to pay for somebody else to own. They're saying that 50% of your income is going to pay somebody else's rent. So you're actually working for somebody else, not even realizing it. Okay? I'm just giving facts because so many people have requested that I talk about it. Okay? 65% of single family homes renters live in the house with 1 or 2 bedrooms. 25% live in homes with 3 bedrooms or more. So most people are living in 1 or 2 bedrooms. These are facts. This is not my opinion. This is facts. This is public record. Let's talk about homeowners. Okay, let's talk about their stats. Home ownership among people over the age 65 years old is 79.6% down. So that means that people who are over 65 years old, they're starting to sell their house, moving into these assisted living communities. There's a program out called a reverse mortgage. So what happens is you can stay in your house. They give you a line of credit. They give you the cash. And then when you pass, then they come in and your mortgage becomes due. Okay. Home ownership among 35 to 50-year-olds averages 63.1%, down 4.8%. So if you're between the ages of 30 and 50, they're saying that you are less likely to buy a home. It's going down. We have a decline. Our population is going down. So why is the government, why is the media saying, hey, we have a housing shortage when there are less people buying homes? You catch what we're saying here. The cavalry is not coming. The creek is rose. The levee is giving way. It's up to us to save us. What is really going on in our community? If we have less people buying homes, why are they saying that there's a shortage? So let me explain to you why they're saying that. Let me give you some more statistics before we get into why they're saying that. 23.7% of all people under the age of 25 years old are homeowners, down 16%, 23.7. So that means that we're not teaching our children how to have homes, and we're not passing our homes to the next generation. We're talking about generational wealth here. We're not passing our homes because we don't have them. Okay, 60% of homeowner households are married couples. Why is it important? 60%, 6 out of every 10 people are married, have homes. There is a correlation with generational wealth with a 2-family home. 2 incomes are always better than 1. Okay, 75% of all homeowners of Caucasian. 75% of all homeowners are Caucasian. They understand the assignment. They're saying, hey, I got to own something. I want to have the American dream. We have to change our thought process so that we can get involved in the American dream also. And it starts with us becoming homeowners. Homeowners 30 years old or younger live in 30% of owner-occupied housing units. You get 30 years old, you're starting to buy a home again. 45 to 60-year-old group, however, owns the largest portion of the market. So if you're between the ages of 45 and 64, this is the largest group of home ownership. We have to, if we're going to impact our community, we got to start teaching our younger kids about credit, We got to start teaching them about home ownership, just like we teach them about the latest rap songs. We teach them about the latest designs. I was talking to an individual, and he consistently tells me on a daily basis, every time we have a conversation, he always say, well, I got this house that I own free and clear, and I got this gold chain, and you got to go get this car, or people won't listen to you. And I saw a quote, and I sent it to him, and I said, and the quote said this: there was a man who was in a Bugatti driving it, a millionaire that was in a Bugatti driving it, and he had 600 viewers. You know, he had 20,000 viewers watching him drive his Bugatti. But then when he started teaching on how to train you on how to get a Bugatti, he only had, I think they said 600 viewers. In other words, we're living in a consumer nation to where it's more important for us to look the part than for us to be the part. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to start investing into our youth, and we must start investing into the next generation. I think it's very selfish when we don't do those type of things. I think that the value of what we do and how we become a great community is how we take care of our young. On the show a while back, an individual was talking about the way we greet each other and the way the African community greet each other. And it was an old parable. We used to say, hey, man, what's up? How's it? How you doing? But in the old African proverb, they would say, how are the children? Because if the children are healthy, then guess what? We know that the family is healthy. We must begin to understand that home ownership is a big part of having a healthy, thriving community, a healthy, thriving family, even a healthy, thriving church. We must begin to get back to those type of principles. Okay? So let me give you some more statistics. Today is going to be a day of statistics. 5.4 million apartment households are single women. 5.4 million apartment households are single women. That's saying a lot. Let's sound the alarm. Our women are renting. Okay? 26% of renting households are married couples. 26%. So where everybody's committing, hey man, I don't want to be married. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. 26% of the people are married couples. 42.5% of renters are single women. 31.5% are single men. So we're right there. Okay, 30% in the median annual household income among renting. 36,000 is the median household income. Okay, 50% of renters are white. So they're doing exactly what we're doing. Renters of 30 years old or older or younger live in 49% of renting units. These are all numbers that is with the Wall Street Journal. So let's give some more information about the Indiana market. And I can pull up information about, the only thing you want to know, if you stayed in a different state and you're watching the show, thank you. Share it. If you want to know information about your community, I'll get that information to you. I do have it. But we're here in Indiana, so I'm going to talk on the Indiana market. Indiana homeowners versus renters. Indiana households are 8.1% more likely to own their homes than the median monthly mortgage payment in Indiana is 25.7% lower. So if you are in Indiana, it's an 8.1% chance that you're going to try to buy a house. 25.7%, you're going to be paying a lower interest rate. Your payments are going to be lower. 2,597 people, no, 2,597,000 total households in Indiana have an average of 2 occupants. So people are not buying doubles. They're only single families. They said 69.3% of households in Indiana own their homes. Home ownership is real big here in Indiana. Okay, there's a big mandate with the governor, with the mayor, with the civil, with the clergy. Everybody's pushing home ownership, but nobody's pushing credit. You gotta have the credit in order to get into home ownership. Okay, homeowners vacancy is 0.8 or zero point 0.8. Okay, rental vacancy is 7.8. So people who take the investment and buy properties here, most of the time they can get them rented out for a good price. There's a lot of different things that people are doing. They're Airbnb and they're that means, well, let me kind of step back. They're Airbnb. Airbnb means that Indiana has a lot of activities downtown. So what happens is if you can get a hold to some property that's close to downtown, then that property will probably do very well and probably make you a handsome penny because Indiana does hosts a lot of events. Future Farmers of America, the Black Expo, the Circuit City Classic, basketball, football. We have a great basketball team, the Indiana Pacers, football team, the Indianapolis Colts. We have a baseball team. We have a soccer team here. So we have a lot of things, a lot of venues that we can use as far as Airbnb. So this is why people find Indiana so attractive for home ownership or to invest in the Indiana. Okay. So the housing industry is booming here. Okay. So this is why when we see on the news where they say there's a housing shortage, don't believe it. Don't buy into that. If there's only a shortage because you have investors, well, not even investors, people who had a good credit, they went and got lines of credit from the bank, okay? And they bought blocks of houses and they're rehabbing these houses and they're renting them out, betting that you don't bet on yourself. So what do you need to do to bet on yourself? One, you need to come to our class and get your credit straight. Two, it doesn't matter where you're at. It's just a matter of where you're starting. You must begin to start right where you're at. Get to a 580 score or better. Okay, then you can purchase a home. Then you can start building wealth for yourself. This is how we can change our community and be radical about the change. When you start paying taxes, people are you're going to be voting people in. You're going to be voting in the mayor. You're going to be voting in the governor. You're going to be voting in your city council. You're going to be on your school board. You're going to be paying taxes to your local police, to your fire department. All of those things you're going to be a part of. This is why it's important that you understand credit and home ownership. This is the 2022 dog whistle about generational wealth. In the past, they wouldn't allow us to read and write, but now we can read and we can write. And like I told you at the beginning of the show, knowledge is not power. Knowledge with the ability to act is power. It does me no good to have electricity that's coming into my house and I'm in darkness if I have no lamps to plug into the wall so that I can see where I'm going. So if you're not involved in home ownership, if you're not involved in credit, if you're not involved in getting a business started, this is what we've had people that's coming on the show that have created businesses after business and they're thriving in our community. And 90% of those businesses are home owners. I'll say it again. If you go back and call those individuals and ask them, do they own their home? Most of the people will tell you, yes, I own my home and I was able to get where I'm at because I purchased my home. When you are a homeowner, your credit score will go up if you make your payments. So the cavalry is not coming, ladies and gentlemen. The creek has rose and the levee has given way. This coming Saturday at 11 o'clock, if you want to become a homeowner, and you want to learn how to become a homeowner, You want to learn how to fix your credit. You want to know what's on your credit. You want to know what is some of the things that you got to do to get yourself in a position to where you can achieve the American dream. You need to show up this coming Saturday, 9,000 Keystone in the Crossing. Okay? You can't miss it. It's in a nice area. It's over by the Cheesecake Factory here in Indianapolis, on up on the north side. It's in a nice facility, and we're going to be talking about home ownership. We're going to take you around and look at some homes. I got builders that have said, "Hey, we don't have to have model homes anymore because we have people that are buying." So the question becomes, who's buying them? Are we buying them, or is somebody else buying them? And if somebody else is buying them, we want to get a part of that pie too. So what we're doing is we're getting you pre-qualified right there on the spot. We're going to take you out to the builder, hold your hand right along with you so that we can make sure that you're going to get into a home. And if you have any questions, we're going to help you walk through that process. We're going to have building inspectors here. We're going to have real estate agents here. We're going to have bankers here. Everybody is going to be here that you need in order for you to achieve generational wealth. No longer can you say, "Hey, I didn't have the opportunity," or "I didn't know." No, you do know. Now you can get involved in the home ownership. You can start to create generational wealth today for you. So the next question becomes, I hear this all the time. Ceped, what are you doing? So let me tell you what I'm doing. I have, like I said, I believe in actually doing exactly what I talk about on my show. I believe that. I believe in drinking the milk too. So what I did is I created a situation where my daughters, we're trying to purchase a home. We're trying to purchase as many homes as we can before December 31. And not only am I trying to do it for me and my family, I want you to do it for you and your family. There's nothing better than the satisfaction of knowing that you are in control of your own destiny. The cavalry is not coming, ladies and gentlemen. The creek is rose, the levee is giving way. It's time for you to bet on yourself. You cannot stay in a situation to where you have other people that can dictate to you what you can do for yourself. It's time for you to do it for yourself. We just want to be a tool to help you. Okay? We just want to be here as a springboard to where you can get into home ownership, generational wealth, see your kids going to the schools that you desire for them to go to. We want you to be in control of your own destiny. So if your job leaves today and you've been working that job for 25 years and you got that job and you started paying on your mortgage 25 years ago, now you own your house free and clear and the value has went up, you can go get a line of credit or a mortgage tax free. Most of the time you need to talk to your accountant about it, but you can go get $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 line of credit against your home and live your best life. This is what generational wealth is, and leave something to your kids. This is how we're going to start impacting our community. More so than that, you can go out and create your own company. I started in this business. I got a line of credit against my home. I sold one of my houses to do what I'm doing today. You can do it. This is what people who are coming in and buying in our community, this is what they're doing. There is not a shortage of homes. Don't get so excited about that. There's not a shortage of homes. It's just you might not be able to be as picky about the home that you really want. But you need to get one so that your credit can go up even higher. And then when the market corrects itself, you can go get the home that you want at the price that you want, doing the things that you want to do. The market has to correct. And when the market corrects, people make money when the market corrects. They make money when it's going down, and they make money when it's coming up. And how they're able to make money when it's going down is different than when they're making money when it's coming up. But the principle is still the same. How do they make money when the market is going down? When the interest rates are at an all-time low, they're going out and retrieving all of this wealth. They're retrieving these lines of credit. Lines of credit. They know that the market is going to correct itself. They know this. And then when the market corrects itself, okay, they have already bought up communities. They have already got the lines of credit. They already got everything in place. So now you're coming along and now you got to buy. So, but they already own it. So now when the market corrects itself, now they're making money. When the market goes back down again, guess what they'll do? They'll go back, get lines of credit, and guess what? You're uneducated about it, and you're sitting right here saying, well, I don't want no credit. I'm not going to do this, and I'm not going to do that. Well, guess what? They're doing it, and they're making money off of you. You might be saying, no, they're not. Yes, they are, because if you're working for them, they're making money. If you're renting from them, they're making money. If you are going to their schools and their shopping centers, they're making money. Somebody who owns that shopping center got a line of credit to get that shopping center. Somebody that owns that rental property got a line of credit to purchase that rental property. You can do the exact same thing that everybody else is doing. We need to learn how to partner with each other. We need to learn how to support one another, but more so than that, we need to learn how to utilize one another's gifts. And we can all do that with our own credit. That's what we can do. That's how we start to generate generational wealth. I believe this. If we really want crime to go down in our communities, then we must change the way we look at wealth. If we want crime to come down in our communities, then we must look at we must relook at wealth. If we want the shootings to stop happening in our communities, we must start to understand wealth. We must start to understand credit. We must start to understand business. And we must start to understand financial literacy. That is the key to us getting wealth. Just like Jay-Z and some of the other entertainers are billionaires and they proclaim that they're billionaires. If you go back and look at your portfolio, I wonder how much of that portfolio is dealing in real estate. How much of that portfolio is dealing in branding? And how much are they consuming instead of producing? I was watching an article, and as we get ready to close out today, I was watching an article and it was talking about Michael Jackson. And it talked about Michael Jackson. I remember they said that he was broke and that he couldn't afford and he had to get a mortgage and things of that nature. But one of the things that they said, now we're beginning to learn where Michael Jackson wealth came from. He was owning everything that he was purchasing. He started with real estate. Those who are very successful, Zuckerberg, Musk, who else you want to name? They all started with real estate. We must understand that real estate is the gate, is the key to get us to where we want to be. Even the United States of America, we fought for this country. It was about real estate. Wars are fought over real estate. So we must understand that real estate has to be a part of our dialogue. It must be a part of our conversation. It must start to become a part of our childhood teaching. We must stop teaching our kids the latest rap song and start teaching them how to count to 100 backwards. We must begin to teach our children about financial literacy, teaching them not just how to save, but how to invest and what to invest in, and teaching them about real estate, teaching them about what is interest rate, what is compound interest, what is single interest, what is home ownership, what is the type of mortgages that you qualify for, instead of just saying a first-time homeowner's loan. What is that? What does your credit mean? Why is it that, when we go into certain communities, it seems like there's better service in certain communities than there are others? Is it really? So we must begin to understand that home ownership is the key to generational wealth. And I believe that home ownership is the key to our communities being thriving again. I believe that home ownership is the platform for us to have better schools, better education, better food in our communities. It's all tied to home ownership and us understanding financial literacy. So now you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The Calvaries are not coming. The creek is rose. The levee is giving way. It's up to us to save us. Tonight, I gave you everything that I had. I'm going to post the information that I talked to tonight. I'm going to post it. I tried to have it out here today for you, but for some reason it wouldn't let me go. It wouldn't let me do it. But I'm going to post the PowerPoint presentation on our website. You can take your time, look at it, look at some of the facts. It's public record. It's Wall Street Journal and the Renter's Journal. Those are the two sources that I use. You can look that information up for yourself. It's important that you get in the game. We have had company after company after company for the past year and a half that's come on this show and talked about how they're betting on themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, we must begin to start betting on ourselves. Yes, it's very difficult when you're trying to do some heavy lifting, but it's going to pay off in the long run because when you begin to bet on yourself, you can't lose. Today, we're going to promote home ownership. We're going to help as many people walk through the gates of freedom, financial freedom, as many people as we can to get involved in their community. If you want to be a part of the movement, join us on this coming Saturday at 11 o'clock, 9,000 Keystone in the Crossing at 11 o'clock. We're going to have a van that's going to take you around. If you want to build a brand new home, we got builders on deck. If you want to build a house that's already rehabbed in a certain area, we got realtors on deck. We have investors on deck. We have everything right here at your fingertips. We have went out of our way to make sure that you have the opportunity to have generational wealth like what we have. I own a home myself, and I want you to own a home too. There's no feeling like knowing that this is yours. The Calvary is not coming, ladies and gentlemen. We must begin to understand that we cannot demand from others until we're able to stand on our own. When we're able to stand on our own in credit, we are able to stand on our own in our own businesses, we're able to stand on our own in what we eat, what we think, how our religious practices. I've had pastors on here. We must begin to become whole again. Our community is great. We have a great youth. Our youth are looking. They're looking forward to us becoming great again. It's up to us to save us. The Calvary is not coming. The creek is rose. The levee is giving way. I asked the question in closing: what are you willing to do about the situation that you're in? I'll ask that question again. What are you willing to do about the situation that you're in? If you are in debt and you are a single mom or a single dad and you want to get into home ownership and you're tired of the rat race, or if you're tired of going to that 9 to 5 and you don't see no way out and you want to do something better, you need to show up this coming Saturday to learn how you can get out of the financial troubles that you're in. We have all been there before. I know I have. But that does not stop. I don't have to stay there. The Calvary's not coming, ladies and gentlemen. The creek is rose and the levee is giving way. It's up to us to save us. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are looking to get involved in home ownership this weekend at 11 o'clock, we're going to be there. Show up. We want you to become a homeowner. We want you to bet on yourself. We want to be the institution that where you feel like you are wanted and you feel empowered. You are the reason why we're here. You're the reason why I believe in what you are doing. I bet on myself every day. Okay? I bet on myself every day. I'm asking you, I'm asking you, look at the person in the mirror and what do you see? I tell you what I see. I see somebody who's willing to take the chance on themselves and they're tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired. You must begin to get in the game if you're going to make a change. The Calvary's not coming. The creek is rose. The levee is giving way. Once again, I'm looking to see you this coming Saturday at Keystone in the Crossing, 9,000 Keystone in the Crossing. If you want to inbox me. We can send you a link. We can get you pre-qualified before you even get to the event. Can't ask for anything better than that. We can get you pre-qualified. If you want to be looking for a house in the area, let us know where you want to be at, and we'll make sure that we'll have some houses in that area, because don't believe the myth. There are homes out here. You just got to get hooked up with the right company that know where they're at. Don't get hooked in believing that you can't become a homeowner. Ladies and gentlemen, you can do it. We've done it. I've done it. Other people have done it. You can do it too. Calvary's not coming. The creek is rose. The levee is giving way. It's up to you to save you. Once again, I didn't get a chance to answer any of the questions. I had some questions that was out here, but once again, inbox me. I want to make sure that we answering a lot of the questions. Mariah, she said so excited about the homeownership class that's coming up this coming Saturday. There's different people that's talking on the website. Class Saturday, 9,000 Keystone in the Crossing. I guarantee you it's going to be sold out. We're going to have a van that's going to be driving people around. It's supposed to be a great day. It's supposed to be 89 degrees, sunny. We're going to make it a day. We're going to make sure that you are in a home this coming weekend. We're going to try to get as many people in the homes as possible. If we can get 40 people in the homes this coming Saturday, that would be a win for us. That's what we want. That's what we're striving for. If you are looking to buy a home, or if you're looking to even get your credit straight to where you can start buying and selling homes yourself and having the opportunity to help out other people, this is the place where you can learn how to do it. You don't have to go and read a YouTube video on how to do it. We can help you with it. We're here to help you. We're here to make sure that you can achieve your American dream of owning a part of the American property that's here, and that's a part of the American land, and that's becoming a homeowner. So Calvary's not coming. Creek is rose. Levee is giving way. Ladies and gentlemen, it's up to you to save you. Keep betting on yourself, because guess what? I'm betting on you because I'm betting on myself. We're going to get there one way or the other. Once again, until next week, keep betting on yourself. Hope to see you this coming Saturday. 9,000 Keystone in the Crossing. You must be there. Tell your friends. Tell your family. You don't have to. If you don't want nobody to know about what you're doing, just tell them that you're going someplace and come over there, get you into a home. I guarantee you they'll be following you. Give us a chance to help you help yourself. Once again, until next week, ladies and gentlemen, see you. Keep betting on yourself. Guess what? Calvary's not coming. Creek is rose. Levee is giving way. It's up to you to save you. Thank you.